feelings, I was truly overwhelmed when I see the scale of the damages, the number of countries, the number of people who were killed by the event. When I think about the tsunami response project that we implemented in Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, obviously it was probably the biggest project that Habitat implemented at that time in terms of the value of the response. It was around $50 million in the 4 countries, and yet it was not big as compared to other organizations that probably had 50 million for one country only. But for Habitat, it was the biggest response probably in history at that time. And that response really shaped and changed the way we worked, particularly in disaster response, because the tsunami response project allowed us to start doing things in different ways, new partnerships, starting new projects where we didn't have presence, which was the case of Thailand. We implemented new things in disaster response, new methodologies, new ways of doing things. And after that, we were able to enjoy installed capacity in all these 4 projects that we didn't have before. And through this new capacity, we were able to impact more families, impact more communities in ways that we didn't have before. And I believe this was thanks to the Tsunami Response Project. And after that, in Asia Pacific in particular, many countries were able to scale up their operations based on disaster response projects. At the beginning, we had many challenges. First of all, the area where we were responding, Habitat Thailand did not have a presence or projects in that area, which obviously presented a lot of challenges for us because we didn't have contacts, we didn't have partnerships, we didn't have expertise in the area. Secondly, the families or the projects in the area where we were focused were scattered. We didn't have any major project location with, I don't know, 20, 30, or 50 homes to build, but rather the houses were scattered. So that was another challenge. When I reflect and when I look back at the projects that we implemented, naturally, we made a lot of mistakes, I think. We had a slow start of the projects. We didn't have a lot of houses in one location, so we built a lot of scattered houses. And now I realize, because we have the people-centered approach, that we were not applying those principles during the Tsunami Response Project. We were building the houses, we were under pressure in certain ways to produce and build houses. And we were not considering the cultural aspects, the culture and cultural aspects of how people live in Khao Lak, in southern Thailand, as well as we were not taking into account the religious aspects of the culture and the families. It was until some point that I noticed that some of the houses that we had already built and completed, they were still empty. The houses were empty because of several reasons. In some cases, the families were waiting for the Buddhist monk to give them the auspicious date in which they could move into the house. Another thing that we learned afterwards was that it's a part of the culture in Thailand that they need the house of the spirits. And in some cases, we were not building the house of the spirits as part of the project that we were implementing. And because the houses didn't have the house of the spirits, the families didn't feel comfortable moving into the house. And because of that, the houses were empty. Now, when I fast forward 20 years, Now we're trying to implement our projects with a people-centered approach, and in that way we should be able to incorporate those elements as part of the project design and our response, and be mindful and you know, take into account the religious and cultural aspects, so that we would be able to implement the project in a better way.